We're 13 minutes into 10 a.m. in Central African Time. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're streaming audio visually on our Facebook page. It's Channel Africa. Just in case you haven't clicked the like button yet, this is your opportunity to do so. So broadcasting is evolving at an unprecedented pace, all right, requiring media organizations to innovate while staying connected to the communities that they serve. I'm now going to be in conversation with Davis Kabuswe from Sun Broadcasting Holdings, who is here at the 7th Radio Broadcast Convention Africa to share insights on the opportunities and challenges that are facing the future of the industry. Davis, such a pleasure to be in conversation with you this morning. Welcome to Channel Africa.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right. I'd like to establish Sun Broadcasting Holdings. Tell us about the organization and the work that you do there.
Okay, so I'm the executive president of Sun Broadcasting Holdings Limited, which is the parent company of Sun FM Radio and Konkola Radio, Sun TV, Sun Sports TV, Sun Records, Daily News, and Ad Central, which is an advertising agency. So this is from Zambia, by the way. So we've got a number of platforms, but obviously what has brought us here is the radio side of things. Right. And this is the 7th edition, and I think out of the seven, I must have attended about 5. So it's always something that I look forward to attending, because there are a lot of insights that we tend to get from these conferences. Yeah.
Well, thank you for mentioning that you've attended a series of these particular gatherings, and I'm sure you've seen the thread move from one theme to the next. I don't know what the theme was last year, but this year's theme is intelligent radio and audio for the next generation of listeners. So perhaps in your reflections from the previous year's theme and this year's theme, what do you think the next generation of radio and its listenership and the next generation of broadcasters, how are they shaping the future of this medium?
Just as well you've mentioned last year's theme. Last year's theme was mainly based on AI. Mm-hmm. And so this year's theme is more like a follow-up to last year's theme, which was AI. So when you talk of intelligent radio, what is it that we are doing in radio? Okay, that is moving with time, that is moving with the generation. Times are changing. Everybody is now on phones, on smartphones. Everybody is digital. So what is it that radio is doing, okay, in order to catch up with time? So when we speak of intelligent radio, we are talking about, harnessing the digital evolution. Okay, the digital evolution, and we're talking about the AI, obviously, which has taken over. The AI has not come to take over the world, it has come to enhance the world. It has come to enhance the human ability. So what is it that we are doing in radio in order to catch up with the time, in order to have that intelligent vibe in radio? It's the use of tools like AI. So if we are using the tools like AI, how are we then improving our broadcasts? So I'm sure right now, as we speak, we must be somewhere on a digital platform. That digital platform, in one way or the other, it's using AI. In the background, it's using AI. So whichever way you look at it, that is the intelligent way of doing things. And if you're not going to be online, for instance, and you want to run your radio station on the conventional FM, then you're losing out, because everybody has gone digital. Okay, for you to have a wider audience, you need to be on Facebook. So I want to believe we're live on Facebook or other digital platforms, because everybody is now using digital platforms. And if you look at your smartphone, nowadays your smartphone will not come with an antenna, it will not come with an FM radio. Why? Because everything has gone digital. And so that is the smart way of doing things in radio.
Okay. Yeah. And in terms of just preparing, because if the broadcasters are on point, then they're able to, to transmute that information so much better to their audiences. How are we training the next generation of broadcasters to be clued up, if I could use that term broadly, on how to fact check, on how to function in this digital era, and then of course put out that information to the public?
I think that even the training is equally changing. The syllabus and whatever our modern journalists are learning, everything is changing. My son, I was telling my son who is going to study software engineering, and I was telling him that when we were growing up, the materials that we were using at the time is far it's so different from what they're using now. And I look at what they're using now, I look at what they're studying. I'm like, back then I would not understand it. So what are they doing then? So they are also equally adapting to the changes in the modern technology, in the digital space, and everything else that is coming in the broadcast industry. So even the training has to move with time. Training has to move with time. Otherwise, the people are going to be backward. And then we'll be throwing stones at each other because we're living in the Stone Age.
And we don't want that. We don't want to encourage that. Oh my goodness, Davis Kabuswe is joining me in his capacity as Executive President of Sun Broadcasting Holdings, and somewhat of a practice, I guess, is what he's giving us as we look at the BMA for the 7th Annual Radio Broadcast Convention Africa that's taking place here in Johannesburg, South Africa. We take a break and return.
One question for you.
Oh. This question that you keep asking.
Would you rather be alone than be unhappy?
I know I'd rather be alone than be unhappy.
We have our golden girl. She released a new song, You Won't Be Back. Miss Karen White.
You've been here so many times. We love to have you. What is bringing you back? What are you expecting this time around?
Well, what's bringing me back is the love. South Africa continues to hold me, and I love it, and I'm thankful. I tell people that you guys chose me, and I don't take it for granted.
It's something we were joking about earlier, that your Sunday only started when Superwoman by Karen White started playing.
I'm so grateful for that because it's such a special honor, to the music, to the legacy, and just to empowerment for women. I love the fact that it's been handed down, and it's a tradition.
The Upside with Nsako Mhlanga and Poppy Njongwane. Catch it on the Channel Africa app. Weekdays from 3 to 6 Central African Time. The Journal with Mateko Musito. Catch it on the Channel Africa app, SABC Plus, and on channelafrica.co.za. Weekdays from 9 till 12 p.m. Central African Time.
21
Central African Time.
21 minutes into 10 a.m. in Central African Time. We're broadcasting live from the 7th Annual Broadcasters Convention, I beg your pardon, Africa, here in Johannesburg in South Africa. Still in conversation with Davies Kabuswe in his capacity as the Executive President of Sun Broadcasting Holdings out in Zambia. And we really are looking at themes of broadcasting, the future of broadcasting, what that looks like, how we can train ourselves so that we don't remain in the Stone Age. Okay,
That's
so
right.
we can move with the times, as it were, and really moving from paper to practice is what's essential here, because it's all good and well for things to look good on paper, for us to talk about artificial intelligence, but how are we actually doing the work and being progressive in that manner? I want to talk about something that's critical to that layer, Davis, in terms of sustainability. It remains a challenge. What business models or partnerships do you think we can start to leverage off of so that we can be more sustainable and support one another in meaningful ways?
First of all, within media houses, within radio stations, the one thing that I've been passionately preaching about is how radio stations need to learn to invest. I come from an investment background, so I'm always preaching about investments. There are a lot of radio stations across Africa that live hand to mouth, or the daily basis, whatever they receive, they use it for their operations, and tomorrow they don't have anything. And I always encourage radio stations to remain sustainable. Let us learn to invest. And it's high time radio stations and media houses started even employing investment experts. Because if today you receive $10, okay, use $2 out of that $10 and use $8 to invest in the different instruments that are available, term deposits, bonds, security, other securities on the market, stocks, etc., such that on a rainy day when there is no business coming through your way, you will have something to still fall back on. Your investments will sustain you. But also, in running businesses, we need to learn to collaborate with other media houses. For instance, if you're doing a production, it would be cheaper to do a collaborative effort with another media house. For instance, if Sun FM in Zambia wants to have this broadcast live in Zambia, we don't need to send our team here. We can collaborate with Channel Africa, and it will be cheaper for Sun FM, just by doing a collaboration. So if it's cheaper for Sun FM, then we're making a saving. That saving, again, turn it to investments. Right. That's what we need to do. So collaboration is the way to go. We've been collaborating with a lot of international, media houses, such as BBC, even Sputnik, DW, and VOA when it was, live and active, and many others, especially from East Africa. That collaboration really helps us in cutting costs. Whenever we want to carry, for instance, there is an election in Zambia. People in East Africa don't need, or media houses in East Africa don't need to send their teams to Zambia to come and cover the elections, because we're going to give them our feed. And so it's cheaper for them. So if there's something happening in South Africa, we don't need to send our team to come and cover that. We'll just work with Channel Africa, and we'll ask for the feed. And, we start having that collaboration. You also, equally as Channel Africa, can ask for that feed from Zambia for whatever is happening. And that collaboration is kind of making a saving for us. So that is the way to go if we are going to remain sustainable as media houses.
Absolutely. Yeah. The next layer of that is being able to monetize. Are we leveraging off of these platforms? Are we monetizing correctly? And if not, what do you see us doing wrong that we can fix so that we're properly able to monetize? Because now that we're digital, there's another opportunity for us to really make money off of the platforms that we're on.
A lot of media houses have not really, leveraged on the digital platforms that are available in order to monetize. But it's a serious opportunity. For instance, I know of a media house in East Africa. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention the name.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I know of a media house in East Africa, Citizen TV, who has 1 billion followers on YouTube.
Wow.
Yes, they're the first billionaires in terms of followers
on
YouTube. So do you know what that means? It means that they are able to have an income stream from YouTube. Okay, before they even look at the advertising aspect. Okay, so what else are we doing as media houses? Are we pushing our content to digital platforms in order to get or to monetize, in order to make money out of our digital platforms? Do we have content that is good enough that we can push on digital platforms? TikTok, for instance. You have TikTokers who are making so much money. So imagine if a radio station has 1 billion followers. What is that going to do to you? Obviously you become sustainable. You have an extra, stream of income.
Yeah.
Instead of you just depending on MTN and Airtel and all these other guys, telcos, to come and advertise on your channel, you have another stream of income that is coming through by your own innovation. By the content that you're putting out there, the content that you're putting out on radio, convert it. Okay, put it on your digital platforms.
And be intentional about wanting to make money off of whatever you're putting on.
That is right. And it's not just about entertaining people. It's about making money.
100%.
Yes.
Okay.
The more numbers you have, the more money you will have.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We've got to be intentional about the workbooks that we're putting together. And lastly, Davis, just from you, in terms of especially this convention, what are your hopes for the outcomes of this year's gathering?
Obviously, we're going to learn a lot about, intelligent radio and audio. We are targeting the future generations.
Yes.
I did refer to the Stone Age. That's where we're coming from. But where are we right now? The Gen Zs, the Gen Xs, and the Gen Alpha, all those groups, how are we preparing them for the future? So I'm hoping that this conference is going to equip us to be ready for, what the future generations are looking forward to. What is it that we should be putting out on radio? For instance, I'll be taking part in a panel discussion which is focusing on infotainment, the mixture of news and entertainment.
Yeah.
The way forward. Is it an evolution or is it a degradation? That's what we are looking at. That's the panel discussion that I'll be, participating in, and I'm hoping that something tangible is going to come out of that discussion. So generally, I'm hoping the conference is going to equip us to be ready for the future.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wonderful. You're a great person to learn from, and I think you've had wonderful success with Sun Broadcasting Holdings, with Sun FM as well. All the best for the next 2 days, and thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for your insights, and all the best with the panel. I think
Thank
that's
you.
going to be one of the most important discussions
Thank you
for
so
this
much.
convention. Thank you for staying with us. It is 10:30. We check in with the latest in sports with Fikile Longwati.